Um, Obviously, in a good portion of the world, we're, well, not the whole world, but it is a colder weather climate. Um, and I want to remind you to do whatever it takes to protect your health. Um, I feel like some of you might be getting like cold sweats, like that's like what, the beginning of like the flu or something. So, um, and when I started shuffling, I was getting the phrase health is wealth. So I feel like health in every single aspect is a huge focus for you all this month, whether it be, again, protecting your physical health, taking your vitamin C, drinking water, things like that. Obviously, it's a holiday season. It's holiday season. So if you're out drinking more than normal, like you definitely need to do whatever it takes to get those electrolytes back in your body. This can even go back to the health spectrum of like declining invitations, that are going to cause you some type of mental stress or emotional stress. Obviously, a lot of people get stressed around the holidays, anyways, and it's supposed to be a time of togetherness. So you may also need to just kind of like protect yourself at that family member's house where they tend to, bring up aggravating conversation, things like that. Because I feel like your overall well being has to be the predominant focus this month. I am getting some pressure in my face. Um, so I feel like there may be a couple times this month where you're like kind of like holding your face in your hands, um, just trying to like get it together. Like I feel like I'm seeing you like literally holding your face, like, ooh, whether it be like holding back anger or tears or whatever. This is an interesting story over here. So it kind of came apart like this. But we have the Two of Cups, the Ace of Pentacles, the Five of Cups, and the Seven of Wands. And I feel like you're in a rebuilding phase in terms of trust and in terms of what you believe in and in terms of asserting boundaries, right? So I feel like you're warding off energy of the Five of Cups, energy of like not getting disappointed or not. I feel like this is also about not expecting the worst of people. Um, it's like a fine line between like not projecting expectations onto somebody to prevent disappointment, but also not setting yourself up for disappointment by expecting the minimum out of people. Because the two of cups, the ace of pentacles is an opportunity, right? I feel like to rewrite the story with relationships as a whole, the way that we connect with other people. Because the seven of wands says, yes, there are a lot of people that want my attention. There are a lot of people that, are vying for my attention, whether it be romantically or otherwise. A lot of people that I need to engage with. But I'm not willing to fold on where my no is no, my boundary, what I want in situations. And in some ways, that's to prevent disappointment. But it's also because I refuse to operate from a place where I expect people to let me down. You know what I'm saying? It's a twofold type of thing. With the devil here and the ace of wands, I also feel like you're going to be feeling more like yourself. I know the devil card, I hate that it's assigned to your sign because I think it just gives you guys a bad rap. Like every time you see the devil, it's like, ooh, the worst fears. Like, no, I feel like you're going to be feeling more yourself, okay? I also feel like this is a reignition back into the body, if you will. Like, again, if you've been doing more etheric work or you've been so busy that you haven't been able to like listen to your body, listen to what your body needs, again, on a mental, emotional, physical level. I feel like this is an invitation back into it. I also feel like you're going to feel more just comfortable in your own skin as well. I feel like you're also going to start to get a different perspective on um, what you previously perceived as like a character flaw, like something that's quote wrong with you. Then finally we have the Three of Pentacles and the Five of Swords. Um, you know, the Five of Swords here, this is a tough one because the Three of Pentacles does talk about needing to cooperate with the other person in order to achieve something, right? And needing to build together. And I feel like this Five of Swords is a catch 22 for you, because when I cut the deck, I got the Emperor. So I know you like to be the supreme authority over your life, which rightfully so. But if a project or a situation or whatever requires that you work with another person, that requires you build something together, you're allowed to have your views, you're allowed to have your, again, your non-negotiables with the Emperor here because you know the direction. Um, but I feel like there's a situation where you're supposed to be equals with somebody, you're supposed to be peers, but one or both of you look at the other one like they're threatening their own personal sense of establishment. Like this 5 of Swords argument is around whose time each one is on, or whose vision is better or more correct, and it's something that you've met time and time again, potentially either with this person or with other people. Like you're like, I'm not building something on other people's time. I'm doing things my way. But if you need to collaborate with somebody, if you need to work with somebody, then you have to reevaluate why both of you are vying for like supreme power control. Okay, my dearest Capricorn. um, all right. So I just want to point out I've only done Sagittarius so far, but Sagittarius had the Knight of Swords in this position, and they had the Knight of Wands in this position. They had the Three of Swords in their foundation. So there's a lot of this night energy, especially these two nights. I feel like overall so far what we're seeing in the month of December is the ability to change on a dime. Okay? And obviously it's in our hands, right? Because whether someone announces something to us or makes something clear to us, or we're given an opportunity, what we do with that energy is on us, right? And Three of Swords aside, I really find this reading extremely positive. Um, and it screams transition, as obviously towards the end of the month it becomes your season and it's time for you to come into your solar return. The overall energy that you are being initiated into at this time is the Garden and the Gate. And the Garden and the Gate is a really interesting card because, as you can see, where she's standing inside the garden, inside the gate, she has a lot of abundance. She has flowers, she has beauty, she has all of these things, right? That bring us comfort. And she's kind of side-eyeing that grassy hill where the sun is shining from. And there's this idea that, one, the grass is always greener on the other side, right? And two, sometimes we stay in a space that we find safe and protective because it's tried and true, right? It's twofold. So this month you're going to need to decide if you visit certain areas or stay in certain expressions of your personality or stay in certain modalities of, again, living because it's where you flourish, or if it's because it's the only place you've invested your energy, because it's not really the grass is greener on the other side. The grass is greener where you water it. So if there's an area of your life that you feel like is the only place you can really create prosperity, or the only place that you can really create beauty or experience safety, I encourage you this month to question whether or not it's because you've ever invested the energy in the other places in the same way that you invest it in the area that you flourish in. Because there are times where we extend ourselves elsewhere, right? In whatever case that may be or way, right? But it's not quite the same. It doesn't have quite the same effort. It doesn't quite have the same effect or intensity or whatever. And I feel like with this being a 3, then we also have the 3 of Swords here. We have the 3 of Pentacles with the 5 of Swords in the beginning. There is this need to really assess how you work with the other, and it being you, one, the other person too, whether it be a boss, a friend, a family member, whatever. And then the third entity being spirit. How do you co-create with spirit when there's another human involved or another outside uncontrollable entity? Because I feel like that's where you struggle, Capricorn, is when you are cardinal. So I feel like you struggle when it's like, okay, I can co-create with the universe. I can yield to the universe. If I'm gonna yield to anybody, I'll yield to the universe. But I ain't yielding to another living, breathing human being. And there are plenty of scenarios where that feeds you well and serves you well. But there are some others that it doesn't, and then I feel like you experience lack or you experience pain with the Three of Swords as the overall energy. This could just be a lot of memories of times where your energy was wasted, or that harsh words were thrown at you, or you have a lot of memories of just times where you felt inadequate, or you were abused, or you experienced trauma, or whatever the case may be. And this month, Spirit is asking you also to live outside your comfort zone and to really assess why you move the way you move, why you go where you go, and what you intend to get out of it. Because I also feel like if you walk into a situation and you just expect it to feed you and flourish on its own, there can be some disappointment there as well. Mind you, the bottom of the deck, this is 30, so it's a 3. The bottom of the deck when I pulled that card was also a 3. It was blossoming abundance. So I feel like you've shifted and you're almost out of this mind state that pleasure and pain are one of the two sides of the same coin, and that you have to struggle in order to succeed. I feel like you're really healing that belief, because it's like the band-aid already got ripped off, but you keep feeling the need to maybe apply a new one. But in reality, in order for it to heal and scab and fall off, and then the scar or whatever comes and it fades, the air needs to get at it. So this wound needs to stay open. And I feel like what you're being challenged to do this month is keep the wound open. No matter how aggravating, no matter how irritating. I'm not saying be around people that poke that wound, right? That's not what we're talking about. We're just talking about letting healing occur. And being that it's raining in this card, I also feel like it's important to allow rejuvenation and renewal for yourself. Allow yourself to be cleansed, and know that it takes multiple rounds, of going through the spiritual car wash, if you will, in order to really deep clean something, right? Like, it's one thing to go run your car through the car wash, it's another thing to get it detailed, right? One takes longer than the other, one costs more than the other, and they do different things, but essentially they're both cleaning services. You know what I'm saying? Hope that was a good analogy. What you're being asked to release this month, we have the Hanged Man with the Page of Cups, and on the Hanged Man we have the rune Fertility. So I feel like for some of you, this could be creative. For others of you, it'll be friendship based, or even romantic in nature. But with the Hanged Man here, I feel like you've been sitting on a lot of opportunity lately and sitting on a lot of fertile energy. And in your mind, you're just like, now's not the time. Now's not the time. Now's not the time. But I'll tell you, this is Pisces energy, and I'll tell you that there's never a perfect time. There's never a perfect time to heal. There's never a perfect time to put what you've learned to good use. Like, it just has to, I feel like action. Spirit is calling you to action. And I feel like you will stand in your power in a lot firmer of a manner once you get active, especially in the area that you're most afraid to act in. Okay? Because we're talking about an area where you tense up a little bit thinking about it, or there's some type of trepidation. Wherever you feel least qualified to get going and get up and move is exactly where you need to invite in some compassion for yourself as well. I feel like there's been plenty of opportunities for you to heal, to extend an olive branch, again, to yourself. It doesn't have to be to another person, but this is an invitation with the Page of Cups here, an invitation to remember the sweetness in life. And that healing requires also replacing old poor experiences with new positive experiences while using your intuition at every step of the way that you previously didn't have when you experienced those painful times. Because the hanged man and wanting to be released, especially with fertility, is I feel like you've gotten all you can get out of this long pause. And if you've been putting love on hold, if you've been putting friendship on hold, or if you've been putting forgiveness, again, whether it be for yourself or other people, on hold, now is the time to get popping, because it's like now or never. This feels like a very like now or never, like should I get off the pot type of energy. And the door that's now open that was once closed, we have the Queen of Pentacles with the Knight of Swords. On the Knight of Swords, we have constraint. So I feel like these messages really resonate with each other and are connected, because it's like if you have been holding back on telling somebody how you really feel, or if you've been holding back on healing the part of you that is romantic, or the part of you that has been naive, or the part of you that operates in a very innocent manner, right? That wants to see the best in people. I feel like if you don't step into this energy fully and take Spirit's advice, you're going to end up holding your tongue or biting your tongue or having your tongue, clipped off type of thing. Because the Knight of Wands with, Knight of Swords with restraint can be one of two things. Because I'm seeing you as the Queen of Pentacles, but also we'll talk about it as an energy. But the Knight of Swords, right, has a message that comes in really fast and it's kind of harsh, right? It's a reality check, okay? Now, if this is coming from another person towards you, and not only just towards you as a person, but what you're capable of, what you're doing, right? Because the Queen of Pentacles is a doer. She's a creator, not in a passion way per se, but in a physical way. She creates a domestic environment. She creates a practical environment. She works on things that matter in the immediate reality. And the Knight of Swords with constraint could say that, one, somebody might be coming in and telling you that you're not living up to your potential. Okay? For other situations, you might realize that like you have been constraining your voice or having a rhetoric with yourself that is of constriction, meaning like you've been downplaying what you're capable of. Okay? Or again, someone might be coming in like, listen, I love you. You know what kind of relationship we have, but I feel like you're not living up to your potential, and I wish you would change the way that you speak about yourself. Or you may feel restricted in your ability to speak on your values or act on your values. Because I feel like on some level your voice may be limited. But I feel like most of you are holding it back on your own. Or again, someone's coming and telling you like, yo, why aren't you, like, I know what you're capable of. I know what you can do. So why aren't you doing it, right? And this is kind of fed into this energy of like, are you staying where it's blooming because you feel like that's all you can manage? Or you feel like you're not going to be able to have that same green thumb somewhere else? What is it? So if this Knight of Swords message comes from another person, I don't feel like they're trying to hurt your feelings. I just think that they really know you. This could be a Virgo or another earth sign. I just feel like they really know you, and they want what's best for you. And they may be speaking to you like this too because they feel like that's the only way you're gonna listen. Like if they were nicer about it, you might not hear them. But I feel like this can also be avoided. Not only will we end up seeing that in the extended reading that you can see in the description box, but I just think you don't have to go into that type of thing. Also, you may realize that it's just time to like hold your tongue, and be less of a talker and more of a doer as well. Because your energy for the month of December as it relates to all of this, we have the 9 of Pentacles in your headspace, the 6 of Cups in your heart space with the rune friendship, and the 6 of Wands in your foundation. So this is why I don't think this is going to be a huge deal. Again, whether it comes from you or from someone else, because with the Six of Wands in your foundation and the Nine of Pentacles in your headspace, I think that you have realized, again, whether through a reality check or whatever else is going on, that you are, one, 120% capable of creating whatever it is that you want to create. And two, that you are in a place right now of pure flourishing in your life. The Six of Wands is saying that not only are you winning and creating progress in your life, but people see you as successful. People see you as progressive. People see you as someone that's growing. And they may have been seeing you like that for a lot longer than you've seen yourself like that, because you're just not used to catching that many W's. I think that you might have been going through a lot of difficult things. Over the last 6 years, 6 months. And it's like to actually see myself as successful, to see myself as someone who comes out on top. It's like you know it, but you don't usually own it. And I feel like now this month you're learning how to own it, because whether someone had to, keep reminding you, or you had to multiple people remind you, I feel like you're stepping into your power. And with the Nine of Pentacles in your headspace, you understand that freedom and independence doesn't mean you necessarily have to be alone. I feel like that's what you're switching to as well. That you can have that autonomy. You can feel really good. You can dote on yourself. You can have a positive, loving mindset. Because the Nine of Pentacles as a mindset, as a state of mind, is extremely capable. And there is no lack in your mentality. And I feel like that has been a huge shift for you. And that's why this Three of Swords is not concerning me. I feel like this is residue that you're scrubbing out. Like you're taking a magic eraser to whatever was stubborn and stained on your mind or on your heart, and it's just kind of getting removed. Because, as well, we have Six of Pentacles on one side of her and three on the other. So she's saying that I stand on my own success, right? Six. And I lean on, she's got her hand on there, and I lean on the fact that I know what to share with people and what to not. I know what my boundaries are. But I would be foolish to think that I could do all of this without ever collaborating with somebody else. I know when it's time to learn with other people. I know when it's time to do with other people. And I don't lean on it. I don't make it my backbone, but it is still a part of my success. So I feel like you're coming into a state of mind too where you understand really in a firm way where you begin and another person, or where you end and another person begins. I feel like your boundaries are getting a really nice solidified boost. And I feel like your solar plexus as well is feeling really strong. I think that you understand the value of your thoughts, the value of your mind. I think you're speaking to people and speaking about your thoughts and ideas and what you need in a way that is very grounded and true to your authentic self. With the Six of Cups in your heart space, and we have the rune friendship here. I don't necessarily see this as you letting people in your heart that, you have a long history with per se, unless they, never really left your life. But I feel like you're understanding in a new way the value in intimacy that comes with real friendship. Because family is tricky, because family, we're taught from a very young age that they're supposed to love us out of obligation, right? And friends aren't like that. We don't have these. Now, granted, family is a whole other subject, but we're not going to go there right now. But friends, it's like we don't have to continue being together. There's nothing that binds us aside from desire, aside from love that has been birthed between the two of us. And the Six of Cups here, I feel like is a return to innocence. Again, we were talking about that over here, and getting back to that tried and true type of friendship that I don't think infidelity. I'm feeling the word fidelity that you haven't experienced since you were a child or since you were really young. And I also feel like the love that you have for your friends, and the people that you regard as family that are not blood related, is also very youthful and playful. And I also feel like you're letting that playful energy back into your heart. I also feel like this is a month where through your friendships or through the people that you call friends or want to extend your friendship to, you're going to allow your inner child to really shine and to really feel safe as well. I feel like you're understanding your inner child has a place, and they're not going to be just this wounded person forever, or this wounded aspect of you forever, that they have a place, and that what they want more than anything is a best friend. Um and I feel like that comes without a lot of baggage and expectation. Spirit's advice on how to handle this energy, we have the Knight of Wands with the Four of Wands. And on the Knight of Wands, we have success. So if all of a sudden you decide to make a quick move, or, you decide to like join back into a social group, or to, connect with people that you haven't connected with in a long time. Again, it is holiday season. Because this Four of Wands for me not only feels like, for some of you, I feel it's a physical home. For others of you, I feel like it's celebrating the people that you call family and that you love dearly, right? And it's like your people, right? Your tribe, the people that you really can count on time and time again. I also feel like you're finally surrounding yourself with people that celebrate you. And that's what Spirit is saying. Spirit is saying that you don't have to wait to celebrate yourself. You don't have to wait to celebrate the people that you love. And I feel like this is just not living on pause anymore. I think that you've gone through a lot over the last, again, 6 months to a year, where it has to have been about you. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just been like so about you. And now you can invite other people into your life and into the fold. And the Knight of Wands here is saying that you may move quickly, or you may take this invitation quickly, but it will be successful. I feel like it's important to move swiftly. Like if you get invited to something, or if someone says like, I want to, I want you to be my roommate, or I want to take our relationship further, or whatever. I feel like it's not a time to ruminate necessarily over what this means, because I feel like this is a time of healing and of inclusivity. I feel like it's important to also trust your initial gut instinct, like that first response, because I feel like if you allow all the other things to start to factor into it, you're going to start to factor in trauma, and trauma will be part of your decision making. So when it comes to feeling at home, whether it be with yourself or with people, go with that very, very first inclination. It's not necessarily going to be the loudest, but it will be the initial one. And then the mind trickles in after. The most likely outcome moving into January, we have the Hermit with the rune Marriage, and we have the Ace of Pentacles with the rune Love. Some of you may be proposing, like, just because we're going from this here to this, okay? Yeah, especially if you have fire energy in your chart. That's obviously for a very small number of you, but or asking someone to go to the next level, like, oh, I want you to have a key to my house, or whatever the case may be. The Hermit with the rune Marriage, though, right? I feel like this is a commitment at the end of the day to self-discovery on a whole new level. Because the Hermit, yes, speaks of isolation, but because the Ace of Pentacles is here with love, I feel like you're getting an opportunity this month and going into the new year, right? Your birthday month. I feel like you're getting an opportunity to really dig into all your fears surrounding commitment and love. And not only fears, really, because it's really about just what overall you need. And if you've avoided commitment, I feel like you're going to have the opportunity going forward to understand that you had it because you've never been able to fully commit to yourself and your own agenda and your own path while also committing to another person. So I feel like you may have had the belief inside of you that like one had to come at the expense of the other. And the Hermit energy is saying that you can't commit to a lifelong journey of self-exploration and self-understanding, and you can find a partner that understands that you're going to evolve, and that if we've evolved apart, then that's when we'll part ways. But I feel like, again, there is no perfect time. And with the Ace of Pentacles here in love, I feel like it's important to plant seeds. Yeah, Ace of Cups. I feel like it's important to plant seeds of real physical action, even if you're taking them on your own and by yourself. Yeah, because then we have the devil. Don't let your ego make decisions for you, okay? Because if you allow the ego into your decision making process, it's gonna get hazy, and you're gonna feel like you're back at square one, not knowing what to do. Know that commitment to anyone never ever sacrifices you, okay? If you guys are interested in a year ahead reading or any other type of personal reading, all that info is in the description box. And again, I think I'm interested to see how this is going to pan out at the mid-month. That info is in the description box as well. I'm not like other readers. I don't do mid-month readings like right now. I wait a week or two, so you can read all that information on my website. All right? Love you guys. Peace.